let's be real for a second. Are you sick of those boring, repetitive tasks? You know, the copy-pasting, the sending of the same email again and again? Well, today, we're diving into automation. It's the key to getting your time back, so you can finally start working smarter, not just harder. So let's get right to it. Think about it. On one side, you've got manual work. It's a world of wasted time, tiny mistakes that cause huge headaches, and decisions based on a gut feeling. But now, look at the other side. Automation isn't just a small step up. It's a total game changer. It swaps guesswork for hard data, chaos for predictability, and all those wasted hours for real, actual efficiency.
And this right here, this is where it really hits your bottom line. I mean, how do you even justify a decision that was based on just a feeling? How can you prove it was the right call? You really can't. But when automation is feeding you the data, every single choice becomes clear, it becomes measurable, and totally defensible. You can literally see the return on your investment.
Okay, so we get why automation is so important, but what exactly is it? Let's break it down, get past all the jargon, and look at a simple real-world example that you can actually picture in your head. All right, brace yourself. Here comes the textbook definition. A predictable set of predetermined actions that transfers data from one point to another. Yeah, I know, it sounds a little robotic, doesn't it? But stick with me. All you need to remember from that are two words, predictable and data. Let's see what that actually looks like in practice. To make this super clear, let's use a scenario we've all seen a million times. Someone fills out a contact form on a website and clicks submit. What happens next? Believe it or not, that simple little process is the perfect way to understand how all of this works. Here's the secret. No matter how complex an automation might seem on the outside, it's always built from the same three simple parts. Once you get these, you can understand pretty much any workflow out there. We'll call them the building blocks. First up is the trigger. Think of this as the starting gun. It's the one single event that kicks the whole process off. In our website example, the trigger is simple. A new form is submitted. Now, a trigger could be you clicking a button, it could be scheduled to happen every Monday at 9 a.m., or, like in this case, it can be based on an action in an app. Next, we have filtering. The easiest way to think about this is as the traffic cop for your data. It uses simple if-then logic to look at the information coming in and decide which way it should go. So for our form submission, the filter might ask a question like, is the company that filled this out a high-value lead or a low-value one? The answer to that question sends the data down a completely different path. And finally, we have the actions. This is the fun part. This is where the actual work gets done. It's the step where your apps do something with the data. An action could be anything from adding the new contact's info to a Google Sheet, to zipping a notification over to your team in Slack, or even adding them to an email list. Okay, so we've got our three building blocks, right? The trigger, the filtering, and the actions. Now, let's put them all together and watch our simple little form submission workflow come to life. And here it is, all laid out. Step 1, the trigger. Someone submits the form. Instantly, Step 2 kicks in, the filter. The system asks, is this a high-value lead? If the answer is yes, it triggers one action. Add that contact to the sales team's Google Sheet. But if the answer is no, it triggers a totally different action. Add them to the general marketing email list. See? It's simple, it's logical, and it's completely hands-off. So that's really all the workflow is. It's not magic, it's not some crazy complex code. It's just a trigger that starts a process, a filter that applies some logic, and an action that gets a job done. When you look at it that way, it feels a lot less intimidating, doesn't it? All right, now for the practical stuff. You're probably thinking, okay, I'm ready to build something. Well, the most important part of this whole thing happens before you even touch a tool or think about code. It all starts with a map. With all the different possibilities and all the tools out there, where do you actually begin? What is the single most important first move you need to make? This is it. This is the golden rule. Before you do anything else, you have to map out the process. I promise you, this one piece of advice will save you hours and hours of frustration. Trying to build an automation without a map is like trying to build a house without a blueprint. It's just not going to work. So why is mapping so ridiculously important? Well, for one, it forces you to slow down and really think through every single step. It makes sure you actually understand the task. You'll immediately see what tools you're going to need. And maybe most importantly, you'll figure out if your idea is even possible before you waste a single second trying to build it. You'll also see exactly where you might still need a human to step in. And look, mapping doesn't have to be some complex technical thing.
Seriously, just open up a simple flowchart tool, or heck, even grab a pen and paper. Just list out every single step of the process in its own little box. Then connect those boxes with arrows to show how the information is supposed to flow from one step to the next. That's it. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Think about your workday, your business, maybe even just stuff you do at home. What is that one tedious, repetitive task you do over and over again? The one that drives you crazy? Yep, that one. That task is just waiting for you to draw its map,